In this lesson, we're going to go through how to select your first query. So we'll start off by logging into the system, and then we'll take a look at the different ways of finding the queries you want to execute. We'll take a look at the info area navigation. We'll have a look at using search functionality. We'll use the history option and also the favorites. And once we have found the query that we want to run, we will then execute it and see the results come back to us in Microsoft Excel. So to log into the system, you have a couple of options. First of all, you can click the little connection icon. That will bring up the login box and allow you to log in, but it won't show you a dialog box where you can open queries. So what I suggest is you use this open icon here, or you choose open query. Let's choose this one, open query. Immediately we get shown a login box. You have to put your client number in there, which you'll get from your system administrator, your username, password, and the language box is optional. So let me just log in. Once you're logged in, you then get given this dialog box where you can select the query you want to open. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. First of all, as soon as this opened, it's showing me a history of some of the reports that I've selected previously. And as you can see, the history button is highlighted here. So if we click it, we're just going to get shown this screen here. And I'm going to turn off technical names just for now. This is what you would see by default. You wouldn't see the technical names on. We'll come to that in a moment. Now the next one down is we can add specific reports as favorites so that we can come back to later on, maybe in a month's time, and select one of the reports we want to run. As you can see, I've got a few listed as favorites already. Then we have roles. Now at the moment, I'm not assigned to any reporting roles, but normally a BW user gets assigned to a certain number of BW reporting roles, and these are normally set up in relation to the tasks that you do. So maybe a sales manager, he would belong to a sales reporting role, and he would see a number of reports listed under that role that he could run. He might also have some employees that work for him, so he could belong to another role. Maybe his HR manager role or something like that. So he would have another role that he could expand and look at those type of reports. Then we have info areas. Now sometimes as a normal user, you might not see this option because a BW person, a security person, can take this option away because this option allows you to look at the whole BW system. You can click on it, see lots of reporting info providers, as we call them. We'll learn all about this later on. And from there, select all types of reports on any type of data that's set up in your system. So it could be HR, it could be finance data, it could be procurement data, anything like that. Okay, but what I'll do, I'll give it a click. And what happens, the system goes away, looks at all the available info providers we have in the BW system, and brings back a list for us to choose. So as you can see here, the system has brought back lots of these info areas, and think of info areas as just normal folders. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'll have a look in financial management. I'll just double click it, and then you can see inside there we have lots of subfolders. We have controlling, consolidation, financial accounting, and so on. If I double click controlling, we then have another breakdown. So you start to get an idea of just how many different reporting objects, different tables holding data we have in a BW system that we can report on. So let's go into overhead cost controlling, and we go down even further. Then once we get to the level where we have some info providers, they will then be listed, and you'll notice that we have a different icon. This is an info provider that we can report on directly, or we can select one of these reporting roles, again with a double click, to then see the reports inside. So here, if I click away, this icon represents it's an actual BW query that you can execute. If I go back up one, these icons represent the folders. Let's see if I can find one with multiple reports. Here we go. So another query. Then this is an actual view. It's called a view of a query, because what you can do in BW is run a query, do some drill down, reorganize the columns, and then save that layout as a view. And it's specifically for you. You can save the layout. It belongs to you so that you know all the formatting is saved and the report runs exactly how you want it. So let me go back up. I'm going to go back right to the top. And what we're going to focus on in this course is look at some human resource type reporting. So I'm going to select human resources. And then from here, I'll select the personal administration, headcounts and personal actions. And what this is all about is telling us how many people belong to our organization. It will include reports giving us lists of our employees, how much they earn, the gender, the ethnicity, and so on. Everything HR related. So as I am in here, you can see we have a headcount and personal actions cube. And then we have these various folders that are grouping specific types of reports together. So let's select one at random just to see what we've got. Average headcount. You can see a few reports in here, one report and a few views. Headcount with FTE. Average age of employees. And so on. I'm going to come down here, STHQ. This is one that I created earlier. But I'll just show you inside we have one report. I'll give that a run and then you can see the results coming back into Excel. Oh, but just before I do that, there's one more option I need to explain to you. The find option up here. Now, because as you've just seen here, there are many reports, many folders within a BW system. And it can be very confusing trying to find reports that you'd like to use. So, as with most tools, SAP have built in a find function for your queries, views, and workbooks. So all you need to do is click on find, and you will get this search box where you can just key in whatever text you want, and it will bring back a whole bunch of results, and you can pick from the results. So for example, if I just choose headcount, do a find. You can see here I'm searching in description. The system goes away, searches for everything with headcount in the description and presents the results down here. Let's maximize it so we can see everything. So you can see we have a whole bunch of info providers. And then we have lots and lots of reports listed down there. So from there you can find the one that you want, just give it a double click and it'll execute. Now another way, let's go back to info areas. We have the name input box at the bottom. Well, this acts as a search function as well. So here I could choose, let's say, employee. I'm going to hit enter and hopefully there's more than one report that comes back. I'm sure there will be. If there is only one report, it will execute this query. So if that's not what you want, use the find box. But as a shortcut, I tend to always key my search phrases in here because normally you always get presented with more than one result. So I just hit enter and the system will go away and find all the info providers and reports with the word employee in the description or the technical name. And as you can see here, when it's brought the results back, it's flipped us back to the find option. And we do have the description and technical name checked so that the search function checks both properties of our query. And as I thought, there are many reports and cubes. So let me come back. I'll choose this one report. You can either double click it or single click and choose open, completely up to you. Then the report will go away and execute. And here we go. The report has finished executing, the data has been transferred down to our Microsoft Excel, and we can do with it as we please. So if I maximize the window and take a look, it's a very simple report, but here we have the organization unit and the number of employees. And as I scroll down, you can see in this test data system that I'm using, there's lots of data there. Almost 1200 rows.